the field of marriage and family therapy is not well suited to actually help most couples through those problems. They just very unfortunately are not.
It's very unfortunate. Yeah.
Well, what was maybe a major concern you had of the therapy model that wasn't working? And because I see your work now and the work that you're doing and the tips you're offering are, I wish that's what marriage therapists were offering to many of their clients. What was it maybe that didn't work in therapy that you have started using with people that does work?
Well, you should know that I have an incredible coach. I have an incredible mentor who's been a strategic family therapist and worked with people, rape victims and abuse victims for 50 years. So I have what I consider to be the best mentors in the business. My opinion is Tony's the best coach in the world. So and I went through that training. So I feel that I have great training. So what I think from the couples counseling perspective, the biggest problem is that let me give you an example. So I have two friends who they're now friends, but these two people, they were students of mine who I worked with to just make their relationship better. But this was after there was an infidelity. And they got over that infidelity. I actually interviewed them for my podcast, and they've been together. They're in their 50s now, and they've been together since they were in their 20s, and that they are like better than ever. And he cheated. He had an affair years ago, and they got through it. And I asked them how, and they said, we had the toughest therapist in the world. When we went into that therapist's office, we were getting ready for battle, and it was the best thing for us. He got in our faces, made us be totally accountable, didn't let us play a single victim game, none of that. And I think it depends on the couple, obviously, and it depends on what problem they have. But if they really have a big problem, you need a therapist who's going, you can't just be a mediator. You got to get in there and really, really be tough with people. And I think that's what was missing. People need to be accountable.
For some couples like that, maybe coaching is that more direct approach. Can that maybe offer some guidance for people that are looking for a hard fix? Is that maybe one benefit of coaching over therapy for some couples?
I think, I think it's not coaching versus therapy. I think that really it's about the actual practitioner. It's about the person. And I think where therapy fails, in my humble opinion, is that although it's important to understand your family and things that happen in family, where therapy fails is that there's too much conversation about the trauma. And always talking about the trauma keeps the person traumatized. That is a fact. And there needs to be, and I know that there's definitely therapists who do this, because I know people who've had amazing experiences in therapy and have really transformed. So again, I think it's about the practitioner rather than about the therapy in general. But if you're not helping the person to change, and all you're doing is sitting there while they vent, what a waste of time and money that is, I think.
Yeah, my experience, even personally, I tell Adam this all the time because he's attachment. And I discovered attachment about 5 years ago, but I had seen many therapists, maybe 10 years of therapy, because I'd lost my dad very young. And it was incredible when I found this particular type of therapy, and the practitioner made all the difference. It was almost as if I had never been to a therapist in my life until I met my particular, he was in therapy. Now he's a coach as well, because there's some red tape that a lot of therapists don't like to push through, and it can get very complicated. So he felt he could be more effective as a coach.
Yes, that's a big part of it.
Yeah. And Tony Robbins, of course. I mean, Not Your Guru, I think I've watched about 10 times at one point in my life as well.
I was there, and I'm actually in that film. I was there. That was like that was 2 weeks after my mom died, and I was actually at that event.
At that filming.
Yeah. And that was the event that changed my life. Yeah.
Well, I could only imagine. I saw it over film and it was very impactful. So I can only imagine being there.